Hello, Dr. Terrazas. So for my final, I'm striving for an A. The group type is going to be a psychoeducational group with adolescents on probation. And the purpose of the group is to address issues that teenage parents on probation may encounter. The purpose of the session is to introduce the importance of communication and parenting. The stage that this group is in is the working stage, and the setting is a room at JPD after school at 6 p.m. Some of the group dynamics will be there'll be a long talker, which I'll try to cut off, and then a withdrawn member that I'll draw out. Some of the transitions that I used is from the beginning to the middle, I introduced the topic of the current session, and from the middle to the end, I used a reflection on the exercise that we did. So, four skills that I'm aiming to demonstrate in this video is linking, encouraging, and supporting, summarizing, and reflection. Also, I use two exercises to create a shift in focus of topic. The first one that I used is a round in the beginning, and then I used a dyad in the middle. And I did this while remaining present by expressing understanding and warmth and demonstrating the use of self. Some of the risks that I took in this video is I chose a population that I'm a little scared to work with, which is adolescents on probation or juvenile offenders. And another risk that I took is using friends and family as group members rather than my classmates. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you this summer. Okay guys, I hope you had a good week. Before we start with the topic for today, I just wanted to recap a little bit on what we talked about last week. And so we had spoke about the different roles in the family and how we fit in the roles and how we could improve on our roles. And so I gave you guys a homework activity. I don't know if you all remembered, which I hope you did, but it was to identify a strength that you have that helps you in your role at home. And so, an example could be I'm very caring and that makes me a good mom. And so, Josie, did you want to start?
I think I'm a really good listener. For example, I think I can listen to you talk all day.
Well, being a good listener is a very important strength, but how does that tie into your role at home?
I think it makes me a better son and a better father.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. Yesenia?
My strength would probably be that I'm patient as a mom and a daughter, because I tend to get a little frustrated with my mom because she gets in the way of my parenting all the time.
Yesenia, thank you for sharing that, but let's see what everyone else has for their strength, and then if we have time, we could get back to that. Okay? Brianna?
My strength is that I'm easy to work with no problems. Like I could just go to work because I know what I'm getting out of it, like providing. So.
And that helps you in which role at home?
Being a provider, like a mom.
Okay, thank you. Guillermo, what about you?
I feel I'm a very nourishing father.
Oh, that's a good strength. And you, Diego?
I wouldn't really say that I have any strengths worth listing.
Really? What makes you say that?
Just.
Did you need maybe a little more time to think of a strength?
Go for it.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you, okay? And so, another thing that I wanted to know is how you all found that that's your strength. What's a good example of when you've seen that strength at home? I guess we'll start again with you, Josie.
I mean, at first I used listening as, I guess, for the wrong reasons. I listened to my friends too much. That's kind of what got me into drugs and all that trouble. But now I'm trying to use it to listen to my parents.
Thank you. Yesenia?
I found out that being patient was my strength, because last night at the dinner table I was trying to feed my daughter and my mom kept interfering with that, and my daughter gets really scared easily, so I had to keep myself cool so that I don't get mad at my mom and scare my daughter and have everyone
so,
freaking
Yesenia,
out.
what I'm hearing you say is that when your daughter gets fussy or a little bit out of control at home, you're very patient in the way that you react.
Yes.
That's a good strength. And what about you, Brianna?
Well, I say I'm hardworking because I'll work 12-hour shifts and then still come home and feed the child.
Thank you for sharing that. And you, Guillermo?
I feel I'm nourishing because I make sure my son's alright. Like, he's not sad, or if he wants something, I'll get it for him.
Thank you. And you, Diego? Did you think of anything?
I would say that I try, no matter how crappy my situation is. For instance, I keep trying to, keep it together despite the fact that I have a 1-year-old daughter and I'm not with the mother anymore, and she's now my ex.
So then, from what I'm hearing, you feel that you persevere to be a good parent?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And so, does anyone else feel that they've had to persevere in spite of some hardships that they faced?
Yeah, like when you have to work as much as me, it's hard to keep on going.
It kind of sucks, going to high school, trying to be a father, try to find a job, and in all honesty here, I still haven't quit doing drugs, so it's just a little overwhelming.
And so, Diego, how does that make you feel hearing that other people also feel that they need to persevere at such a young age?
Kind of lifts my spirit a few more pennies in the jar, So.
Well, I want to thank you guys for sharing the strength that you all found. And I just wanted to point out that another strength that would help us a lot at home is being an effective communicator. And so I wanted to do a little exercise on communication to see how well we could communicate with one another. Does that sound good to everyone? Okay, so I'm going to put you guys in pairs. So it's going to be Josie and Yesenia and you three together since we're missing a person. And I'm going to give Yesenia and Brianna a picture, and they're going to face the other way, and you all aren't going to see the picture. And they're going to give you instructions on how to draw exactly that picture. So they could tell you what's on there if it's a familiar object like a shape, but you won't know where it is on the picture. Okay, so here's the blank paper where you guys could draw. And then here's yours, and you all could start whenever you're ready. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes.
Okay, turn your paper horizontally. And then there's a banana.
Okay, so there's going to be
This
6
banana
drawings in
is
total.
about 5 inches
And
long, about 2 inches wide.
You're going to split it
It's
where there's
not
3 at the
a
top
full
and 3
curve,
at the bottom.
It's kind of a little curve.
The first one at the bottom to the left
In
is
the
the
banana,
sun,
at the
and
lower
you're going to
part
draw
of
it
it,
with the circle.
this part should
and then
be at
for the rays, it's going to be triangles.
bottom left corner.
It's gonna be
the
8
part of the
triangles in
banana,
total.
The bottom part, there's a little
How many triangles?
8.
puddle shape on the bottom of the banana.
And then once you're done with that,
It's
to
kind
the right
of
of
like
that,
a
It's a
rectangle or
thunderbolt.
oval curve. And then in
But
the
it's a
middle
thick
of
one.
the banana, there's a
and it's
a
facing
curvy line going right in
the
the middle,
right.
cutting it in half. But it's not cutting the banana in half. It's just part of the reflection of the picture of the banana.
So after you draw that,
And then
there's
if you're
another
done with the banana
drawing
part,
at the very bottom
there's
to the
another
left,
part
to
at
the
the
right,
of the top of the banana that
and it's
has
an up
that
arrow
same puddle shape,
and a down arrow
kind
at
of
the
like
same
the
time.
rip when the banana is
And
going
they're
back.
connected in the middle.
And then on top of the banana or next to it, at the top part of it, this should be close to
On top of the arrows,
the top left corner.
it's like a flag.
There's an apple
Like
A
a what?
blank-
connecting to the
blank
banana,
flag.
like it's touching the banana. And in the apple, you only see the stem.
Not
the
a
stem of
straight
the apple,
flag, the one that's like
and
waving in the
it
wind.
has the light glare of the apple.
Okay, and then next
This
to the
apple's pretty
flag,
big.
going
So-
left,
Behind the banana?
Yeah, it's
is like
behind
the
the
red
banana.
cross,
It's behind the banana.
but
So it's gonna be
longer.
like, it looks like if it's on top, but it's behind it. So it's kind of about 3 inches wide,
Okay, and then the final
And then,
drawing
like, 2
to
inches
the very left
high,
at the top,
and then the little stem. And then at the
Is-
banana, there's like that reflection, that
like
glare,
a pointy
just
cross.
to make it look more banana-y. I mean, apple. And it's like a little rectangle.
And after
at
that,
the-
it's done.
Right hand, top right hand of the banana, of the apple. The apple. Then at the bottom of the apple, to your right, a little more to the right, there's a apricot.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes, okay?
And like this apricot has, it looks kind of like a heart shape, but not as defined. And then it has a little glare at the, oh gosh, this apricot is about 1 inch wide
We're done. Can we turn
on
it
both
around?
sides.
Yes.
And then it has a little glare area at the top part of it. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know, it's just fruit.
Yeah.
Does your drawing look like fruit? If it does, you did a good job. I think, are you done? I don't know.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so everyone's finished?
Don't look at it.
So, can you tell me a little bit about this exercise? Do you feel you guys, you could show them the picture.
Diego did amazing.
I did bad.
How is it?
I don't know.
It's not in me.
So, this group, let's go with this group first. Did you find anything challenging about the exercise?
I think how fast she was going made the, I guess, instructions a little bit, like, I guess, complicated,
Okay,
confusing a little.
so maybe pace?
There you go.
Okay. And with this group, was anything challenging?
It's hard like explaining to like not leave out details for everyone to understand.
It was a little challenging on the flag, the curves.
And you, Dewa, did you find anything challenging about it?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, so then, is there anything that we could take from this exercise and apply it to home?
To be more like Yesenia and patient. Like
So
if people don't understand you or listen to your direction.
Okay, that's a very good answer, Brianna. Thank you.
Just, I guess, to talk more to make sure everyone's on the same page, I guess.
Yeah, because sometimes what you're saying isn't being shown to the other person the way you're thinking. Just like with the apple, it was, I was seeing it here, but he was seeing it on the other side, and I think it's all more like what he said, to be on the same page, because
So
sometimes it doesn't make sense.
then what you mean is that if we're not clear, then one person may be thinking one thing and the other person may be thinking something else? So then how could that help us be better communicators? By doing what with the other person?
Like considering what they're thinking or feeling.
Great. And so how can we do that? Diego, did you have any ideas on how you could see what the other person's thinking?
Try and talk to them if they're not busy yelling at you.
Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Well, like I said, with my crappy situation, like my current girlfriend yelling at me for still talking to my ex-girlfriend, which is the mother of my daughter.
So then, what you're trying to say is that if the other person may jump to conclusions if you're not very clear.
Yes.
Okay. So then maybe one thing that we could do is maybe check in with the other person and see if they understand. So what's a way that we could do that?
We can talk more about it. Always let them know what you're thinking, and maybe they're not thinking the same thing, but they'll end up understanding your way, or you'll end up understanding what they're saying.
Okay.
And
so
that's
then, so that would help with who, especially? If we make sure and talk about the subject, make sure both people
Well, me
have the
with
same
my
understanding.
anger issues, I guess.
Okay, with anger. Okay. And what about with your children? Would that be a good strength to have?
Yes.
Yeah, and as they grow up, it'll be a good example to communicate.
Okay.
It does help them, maybe, because my daughter is 1 and she's starting to talk. It would probably help me understand what she's saying if I try to teach her ways of communicating with me.
Exactly. So if we could all be on the same page with communication at home, maybe like have the same communication styles, or maybe ask the other person to clarify. And with children, at first, if you tell them a lot of instructions, what's going to happen? They'll mess up, or they'll probably only remember one of the things that you said. So maybe being more clear would be a better approach in parenting. Yesenia, I noticed that towards the end of the exercise, you seemed a little bit frustrated. You were kind of like, oh, it's a fruit, just draw fruit. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were feeling?
Well, I was frustrated because I wanted to just turn around and tell him, this is what I'm looking at. Look at it too. Because I think that would have been easier than trying to explain the fruit. Because it is fruit after all. I didn't know how to say it, and it just got really frustrated because I couldn't turn around.
So you didn't know how to express what you were feeling, so you started just yelling and you wanted to give up.
Yes.
Has anyone else experienced that when they don't know how to communicate what they're trying to say?
Well, with this shape, the first one, I didn't know how to explain that, so I just avoided it. I kept it to last because I didn't know how to explain that to them. I saw it, but I don't know how to, like, is it a star?
So because you weren't sure how to express what you were trying to tell them, you kept it till the end and kind of avoided it?
Yeah.
And Diego, have you felt that before, where you don't know how to express something and you kind of leave it till the end, or?
Yeah, to my 14-year-old girlfriend, mostly, since she still kind of has issues with me still continuing to talk to my ex, who is of course the mother of my daughter.
Okay, so you feel that you don't know the right way to communicate with her, and so you feel that maybe that's something you all could work on?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. I have a handout that I wanted to give you, and this is going to be, I know, more homework. You guys already have school, but and it has different styles of communication. So we're going to talk more about these styles next time, but I just wanted you to look it over and try to see which style you feel you have right now and which one you would want to have later on. So I'm going to go ahead and pass these around. And when we come in the next session, I'll have an activity for you guys with this handout, okay? So I hope you could look it over. And is there anything else anyone wanted to talk about for today? So we'll be meeting here same time, same place next week. And I'll see you then. Bye. Have a nice weekend.